Hello, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing all right. On today's video, I'm gonna give my opinion or just put my 2 cents in what I think to be it's a very relevant and important topic. Today we're gonna be talking a little bit about what we could be doing better when it comes to culture and violence against women and children in general. Today, I'm going to talk about my experience and my perspective as a Hispanic woman. So, yeah, I had actually filmed this video in Spanish initially, but I decided that I would make it in English also just so that it would reach more people because, like I said, this is a very important topic. It's close to my heart, and I feel like it needs to be discussed. We need to continue the conversation, and also I feel like sometimes we are so in our bubble that until someone else tells us, we kind of don't realize what we're doing wrong or what could we be doing better or what things can harm someone else without us even realizing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into the video. So today we're gonna talk about it in the family sense because 90% of abuse happens within the family or by someone close to the victim. Only a small percentage of these acts are committed by a stranger or someone who didn't know the victim. So I believe that because of this, we have to be extremely careful who to allow into our homes. But not only that, who do we keep around our children? And honestly, just like which people in our family are still there and they're just not a great person, or you know firsthand that they are an abuser or an aggressor because you've seen it firsthand, or someone has told you in your family, or sometimes someone doesn't even have to tell us because you can pick up on just cues and behaviors on other people, especially kids. So let's really pay attention and let's talk a little bit about that. When we are little, we learn to experiment and kind of like communicate and relate to the world around us the way that our core family teaches us, right? Or not only by talking to your children will they learn, that's not the only way. I think it's really important to lead by example. And even though you think you're teaching your kids something, you might really be teaching them something else because they see your actions, they hear you judge other people, and so on. And they also see you have or not relationships with people that are not safe, right? What do I mean by this, and how does this tie into the whole culture and violence against women and children? So in this video, I'm going to be talking primarily about women and children because they do constitute the majority of the victims when we are talking about this stuff. So I think there's something to be said about keeping an abuser or an aggressor in your circle, specifically your family, because what message are you giving the women and the children in your family whenever you are keeping an abuser around? The indirect message that you're sending to these women and kids is that you are making the decision to still have that person in your family or in your circle, even though you know that they are an abuser, that they're an aggressor, that they're not a safe person. What do you think is the message that you're giving to your kids whenever you're keeping someone like that around? Not only you're putting them in danger, right? That's obvious, but also you're letting them know that their caregivers are okay with having someone like that around, or even the rest of their family. So it must not be that bad, right? Like it must be okay, or it's just part of life. Because if I see that my parents and the people around me continue to have this person around, then, you know, it must be okay. No matter what this person does, you'll keep them around. They'll still have your support. So if you already know that this person is violent or abusive, verbally, emotionally, financially, physically, sexually, to anyone, and you still choose to keep this person in your family and in your circle, you are letting everyone know that you decide to have a relationship with that person, even though that they're an abuser. So don't be questioning where it went wrong when in the future your kids go on and accept this type of behavior or fall victim to this, because you've been essentially prepping them for this. Do you think that the children and the women in your family are gonna come to you if, God forbids, they happen to fall victim to someone like this? If they know that you keep someone like that around and they're your friend or they're your family member and they still come to dinner and family gatherings and birthday parties and all of that, why do we feel the need to keep these people in our family and around us? Like, if your family is okay with that person being an abuser and still having them in their family and in your family, then what would be so horrible about you not being okay with that and deciding not to be around an abuser anymore? I know that your family will likely flip because they've been enabling this person this whole time, right? But the change's gotta start somewhere. This is really harmful. I don't think we should underestimate the power that that type of support or having that net, that safety net. There's this incorrect belief that the love of family can overcome everything. And that's just simply not true. And that is setting a very dangerous precedent. So by keeping these people around you, you are enabling against women and against children, culture, all of that. How does it make you feel knowing that an abuser, a pedophile, an aggressor, a woman beater is comfortable with you and just knows that you have their support and you're their friend, or they can come to you, you go to Thanksgiving dinner with them and all of that? Like, really, how does it make you feel knowing that you're keeping that person around just so that their feelings are not hurt, or what's grandma gonna say, what my aunt gonna say? Another thing that I want to point out is that, of course, no one's gonna say that they support or that someone is okay. But what else are we doing that is harmful? What else are we doing that we're not realizing and that it's enabling these issues? So let's clear that up a little bit. What stuff do we hear and it's a lie? It is not true. And doing substances, drinking, mental illness, a tough life, being abused in their childhood. None of these things are an excuse. None of these things are a justification. None of these things made that person be an abuser or be an aggressor. And they just lack empathy and just fulfill their own desires and necessities. That's another thing. We've been, especially in the Hispanic community, we've been led to believe that men are these creatures that just are unable to control themselves and their impulses. So we will tell young girls, oh, your Theo's coming over, so you better put on a bra or change those shorts. So let me ask you, why are you asking this young girl to cover herself in her own home whenever someone's coming over, instead of just not allowing that person over to your house? It's like, so please, someone explain to me, if these men are unable to control themselves and their basic instincts take over them, if they get on a fit of rage and beat their wives, or if they can't control their impulses and they go and someone just because they wanted to do the damn thing, then how are we letting these men have families, run companies, be presidents, do all of that if they can't even control their basic impulses? Make it make sense. Make no mistakes, they are able to control their impulses. They just choose not to, or they choose to control them. So there's absolutely no excuse ever. Another thing that I'd like to add really quickly at the end, also regarding just, if your kid doesn't want to go somewhere, or if you see that someone has an adverse reaction when someone comes, or like, whenever they're trying to, kiss your grandpa or whatever, hug your grandpa, he's leaving, or he's saying hi to you, and it's like, and that kid doesn't want to, they don't have to. Like, I don't even know why do I even have to say this. Don't teach kids that they have to do something, especially crossing like those physical boundaries and doing stuff that it's uncomfortable for them just for the sake of not upsetting someone else, especially a family member. What we have to understand is that these people are hiding in plain sight, and they will act like the sweetest, most charming person, or just they have a good relationship with a kid, or whatever the case may be. You guys should do your own research on just grooming and predators and stuff like that. But wouldn't you rather your community and your family be a safe place for women and children rather than a place where abusers and aggressors can feel comfortable and have protection? Those things can't really coexist. I would love it if you guys would let me know in the comments what other things have you experienced, like patterns, behaviors, or just like things that are said in your family or that you have seen that enables this type of behavior and enables abuse, so that we can continue the conversation in the comments and just share this video with whoever you think this would be helpful. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, be on the lookout for another video. Bye.